talk about immunity.
Yeah, immunity is so important, especially today, right? Well, so one tip that I think I could offer your audience that's fairly novel, doesn't really get talked about a lot, is why we ought to slow down when we're chewing our food, but not just to benefit our digestion, to benefit immunity, to benefit our metabolic health, which is so important. You can't really talk about immunity these days without touching on the value of metabolic health. And today, 9 in 10 adults have some degree of metabolic illness, which is kind of shocking when you think about it. 9 in 10 adults, right? But one way to really bolster metabolic health is simply to slow down when you're chewing, and in particular, to slow down when you're chewing produce, so fruits and vegetables. And the reason for that is fresh fruits and vegetables have compounds in them called nitrates, which when we chew them, the nitrates in those vegetables and fruits get reduced, turned into basically a compound called nitrate. They remove an oxygen molecule, so it's kind of sciencey. But that, in return, creates nitric oxide in our blood vessels. So oral bacteria, so we have bacteria in our mouth, in our small intestines, in our colonic environment. In our mouths, the bacteria reduce nitrate from fruits and vegetables, turn it into nitrate, which then becomes nitric oxide in our blood vessels, which is a powerful vasodilator. So it increases blood flow all throughout the body. It's great for sexual function. It's important for metabolic health. It's involved in insulin sensitivity. And so if you're eating, for example, a salad really fast, like on the go, you're shortchanging the ability of your food to have a cardioprotective benefit and a metabolic health boosting benefit.
God damn it, Max. I just ate freaking celery with peanut butter and wolfed it down in the car.
Wolfed it down.
Right before this episode. And also, Michael eats faster than anyone on the planet. He makes me uncomfortable. My cortisol is so raised. Keep going.
Yeah, I'm a fast eater too. But now when I chew foods like beets, which are a very high and concentrated source of organic nitrates, arugula actually per calorie has the highest concentration of nitrates. I want to slow down because I know that the bacteria in my mouth are responsible for basically promoting this nitric oxide pathway, which is going to boost blood flow all over the body to the brain. It also reduces blood pressure. So this is kind of a tangent, but related. I posted recently on my Instagram that people shouldn't use antiseptic mouthwash frequently because antiseptic mouthwash kills the bacteria in your mouth that cause that reduction of nitrate to nitrite that can then negatively affect this nitric oxide pathway. And so just the use of mouthwash one time can actually increase your blood pressure. They've shown that using mouthwash after exercise reduces the benefits that exercise typically would have on blood pressure. So the ultimate lowering of your blood pressure. And there have been studies that have shown that people who frequently use antiseptic mouthwash, so I'm talking twice a day or more, have a 50% increased risk of developing type 2 diabetes and a 100% increased risk, so doubling their risk of developing hypertension via this pathway.
Wow.
Yeah, it's super interesting. Nitric oxide is like this really powerful.
Well, you're right now. Like I think you're the first person that's come on the show that's talked about this.
Everyone who is wearing dentures that's listening, you also probably have to be careful because I know with dentures you use mouthwash a lot, and also you're putting your dentures or your retainer in that stuff that soaks it, which is, I think, antiseptic.
I don't want to be ageist, Lauren, but how many people are listening to this show with dentures?
Dentures, probably not many.
You never know.
Not many.
Okay, so
well, now I'm going to get shit on.
So out of my 5, you did 2. You said really chew your food, slow down, Michael. I'm going to remind you of this every day. And then
avoid
mouthwash.
Frequent use of antiseptic mouthwash.
That is such a good tip.
Let me ask you a quick question. Is this every kind of food? I mean, there's probably a benefit for every kind of food, but you're highlighting that there's specific foods that you have to even be more intentional about, like arugula, beets, like these types of things. Like
that's like the perfect follow-up question, Michael. And the truth is, it really slowing down is important for whatever it is that you're eating, because we actually begin digestion before the food even enters our mouth. It's called the cephalic phase of digestion. So cephalic means our head. So as we're perceiving the food, smelling the food, looking at the food, our digestive processes get going. And then once we start chewing, we have enzymes in our saliva, but also like our bodies ramp up production of insulin, which is a hormone involved in packing away calories. We begin to pump out digestive juices like hydrochloric acid and pepsin, which is involved in protein breakdown. So slowing down is really important. It also helps to register the food that we're eating. So if we eat fast, we're more prone to eating more calories because there's a lag time between the time that it takes, there's a lag in the time that it takes for ghrelin, which is the hunger hormone, to make its way from our stomachs up to our brains. And ghrelin is basically secreted by the stomach when it's empty, and that valve gets turned off when the stomach is stretched. So this is one of the reasons why dietary fiber is so satiating, because it mechanically stretches out the stomach, and it causes that hormone ghrelin to stop being released by the stomach. And ghrelin, again, hunger hormone. But there's like a lag time. It doesn't happen instantaneously. So this is one of the reasons why, if you're on any kind of like weight loss plan, which I know many people are, many people aren't, that's totally fine. But you really want to make sure that you're slowing down so that your brain has the opportunity to register the meal that you're currently eating.
That makes so much sense. One of my girlfriends, Ingrid, she's a wellness expert and she's from France. And one of her things is she always talks about ghrelin and slowing down. She calls it a word. If you said it, I would like it's something with asphyxiation or something. I don't know the word. Anyways,
I don't know if it's that word.
she always talks about it, but she was comparing how in France, that's obviously one of the things that they do. When they have lunch, they sit down for an hour and a half, they're enjoying their food. Whereas in America, we're in the car eating celery and peanut butter and stuffing it down our face.
Yeah. Yeah, it's totally true. I mean, eating slow, there was a study in Japan that found that eating slow, when calories were controlled, that it actually boosted the thermic effect of feeding. So the amount of calories that are burned off via chewing and digestive processes alone was actually increased just from slowing down after calories were controlled. So it really is an important and effective way to not only get more from your food, especially if you're spending a lot of money on food, right? Like I tend to shop at like Whole Foods and spend a fair amount of money because the quality of the food that I'm eating is something that I value in my life. But to know that you're shortchanging your food, you're getting less bang for your buck by eating that food rapidly, I think is a really important thing for people to know about. And also the fact that those hunger hormones are really important when it comes to helping us regulate our appetites.